Hi gang, Rob here. It is the evening of 24 April 2017. Coming to you with a knife review tonight, and boy, there's a story that goes with this one. There is a story that goes with this one. So if you want to, you can pause the video here, maybe go get a cup of coffee, bowl of popcorn. But it's a really, really good story, and the knife will be so worth waiting for. So a little less than a year ago, on one of my trips to Escanaba, Michigan, in the region of New Sheffield, because of its knife making tradition, old and new, I met this guy in Mike Stewart's office at Bark River Knives. At the time, I think he had like a chain wallet, black boots, probably a goatee of some kind, a nose ring, and a mohawk. In his early 30s, kind of a small guy with a very quick wit, kind of a smart mouth, and he was a knife maker. I'd never met him, hadn't heard of him. His name's Matt Martin. He is the proprietor of Vehement Knives. Matt, up until, less than a year ago, lived and worked in Colorado making knives. Moved to Gladstone, Michigan, I believe, to be close to the center of the U.S. fixed blade knife making industry. And I was sort of instantly intrigued and a little bit put off by Matt, frankly. I've never been one to get along well with people who are a lot like me, and this is honesty and conviction, boys and girls. Quick wit, kind of sarcastic, seemed to be the smartest guy in the room, at least in his own mind. And when you have a guy like that in the same room as Mike Stewart and Rob Bixby, there could be friction. So we didn't really hit it off right off the bat. I was there, trying to get some time with the custom makers who have congregated around Escanaba and Gladstone, just to give them a boost, get some awareness to their businesses and their products. And most of the guys are pretty happy to sit down with me or give me a shop tour. And Matt had absolutely no interest in that, none whatsoever. In fact, he kind of told me so. So I sort of made it my mission at that point that I was going to crack the skin, elephant hide of Matt Martin. And on subsequent trips to Bark River and Escanaba, I have sort of, I've made it a point to reach out to Matt. And last month at the March Bark River Grind-In, I got to spend a lot of time with Matt. I think Mike might have worked on him and said, "Hey, give this guy a chance. He's just trying to help." But Matt was very gracious, and we actually had a couple nice conversations. Spent some time out in his shop, late at night after the Friday night dinner at the Grind-In, and then on Saturday evening after the banquet, there are a few people that hang out at Mike Stewart's house late at night, and Matt and I sort of engaged in conversation about lots of things: knives, guns, life, you name it. And I think we found that we rather enjoyed each other's company. I reached out to him a few weeks ago then and said, "Hey Matt, I know you're going to have a small knife coming out in a mid-tech sort of a low-volume production capacity, and I'd like to help with that, get it in front of the camera and have people take a look at it. And also, if you don't mind, would you send me one of your custom fighters? And, I don't expect anything in return. I'll be happy to return the knives to you in the same condition you sent them. I just want to get them in front of the camera. evaluate them, show my viewers what you're doing. He was happy at that point to do that, and told me it'd be a couple weeks before he could have the production grunts ready, and before he would have a custom fighter. Then you're not going to believe what happened. A week ago Friday, so that would have been Friday, is that right? Yeah, Friday the 14th, Matt had a raffle for a custom one-off Fighting Bowie in 3V that he made just for this raffle. Well, one of our buddies, Jimmy Mack, yo Jimmy, he is just a very generous guy, and he bought spots for himself, and 5 other guys just threw us in. I was one of them. And this is the second time Jimmy has done that, which always then makes me buy a spot. So I did. So I had 2 spots, I think, out of 53 or 55 in the raffle. And the same night, it was Thursday night. It had to be Thursday night because it was the same night as my knife sale that week. So Thursday the 13th. At 9 o'clock is the drawing. I just had a feeling. At the same time as my sale goes live, Matt is drawing this raffle live on Facebook. I just had a feeling, and sure enough, the random number generator picks number 9. That was the number Jimmy bought for me. And so, Jimmy, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. And Matt, I appreciate you too. And his reaction was so funny. He goes, "Oh my gosh, it's Rob Bixby. I was going to send him a knife to review. He wants one so bad." But I got one. And oh my goodness, I've seen some of his work, guys. Oh, golly. Here's sort of Matt. I told you about the mohawk and the nose ring. And he's got 10 feet tall attitude. Big time. And in fact, now he's in this Upper Peninsula, Michigan small community. He told me a story while I was up there about eating dinner in one of the local restaurants in Gladstone, and this woman kept looking at him funny. I don't know if she was another patron or if she worked there, I can't remember. But he engaged her, and she said to him, "What is that thing in your nose?" And he said, "Well, it's a nose ring." She says, "Huh. Good luck finding a job with that. What do you do for a living?" Matt says, "I own my own business." She said, "Really? What do you do?" He said, "I make nose rings." That's Matt. So he doesn't make nose rings, though. He makes knives. They come in this white box. This is sort of the obligatory New Sheffield corrugated cardboard box, right? And what comes in the box? Well, you got this nice poly bag made in USA, which houses this sheath. You have a blade guarding sleeve. You have some tissue paper that the knife and sleeve are wrapped in. Then you got some paperwork. A couple Vehement Knives business cards. Vehement Knives LLC, Matt Martin, owner, maker. No longer in Longmont, Colorado, however. You guys can freeze this and write down all his info. And then also we have the Vehement Knives Certificate of Authenticity signed by Matt. This went in the box on 17 April 2017. Presented to yours truly. The model is a custom 3V fighter. No serial number because it's a custom. Blade material CPM 3V. Sheath material brown leather. Handle material stacked leather washers. Oh! And also in the box comes this letter. Warranty, care and maintenance. I'm not going to bore you with all that. Now, Matt is in business with his beautiful bride, Jenna Martin, who's also, as well as handling most of the social media, she is a master leather worker. a master leather worker. So here is the Jenna Martin sheath that came with my custom 3V fighter. Let's just look at it, shall we? Beautifully dyed, beautifully finished. The stitching is unbelievable. 2 brass grommets at the bottom, or eyelets at the bottom, suitable for running a leg strap through. Look at this welt. It is a 3-piece welt, tapering from guard to tip of the knife. Beautifully burnished. And then check out the attachment and retention system. When the knife ships, it's going to ship like this, with the retention strap vertical along the back of the knife. Okay, and then because if you notice that sheath is totally symmetrical, the sheath then can be worn on either left or right hand. I had it set up for left hand carry because I'm left-handed. These are one-way snaps. They roll on this way and they roll off that way. Yes, they do. You got to do it that way. And then check out the attachment straps. 2 reasons we have 2 straps. First, if you'd like to split a belt loop on your pants so the sheath stays in one place and can't slide back and forth between belt loops. And sometimes splitting the belt loop is the most comfortable place to carry a knife. So Matt and Jenna have thought of that, and you guessed it, this is a MOLLE compatible sheath. I love how they used the flesh side toward the body so that the inside but showing side of the sheath is the outside, the smooth side of the leather. Just a super well made sheath. Before I put the knife in it, well, we're going to talk about the knife. And guys, if you've been watching my Instagram, you've seen this knife already. But here it is. Get ready. I mean, if you have heart trouble, and you might want to take a nitro pill before you see this. Here it comes. Oh my Lord, would you look at that. And I'm going to apologize in advance about lighting and focus. So many facets, the grinds are hollow. It's a very high polished satin, and it does not work and play well with the camera. But just look at this. So, if you guys know your fixed blades, if you know your fighting knives, you're going to see Randall Model 1 all over this knife, with a little bit of an exception in this area of the knife. I think I just cut myself. I did. Right there. Just touched the edge. So instead of having that pronounced thumb divot, this is more of a larger radius concave in the spine, coming to the top of the clip right here, and then all the way down to the blade. See? It got me, Matt. I own it now. So almost a little harpoon clip thing going on in a very subtle way. Look at that swedge. That blade is 7 inches long, and the swedge is about 6.5. Because Matt is one to pay homage to Randall Made Knives, Bo Randall, and to SOG, the SOG style Bowie. And you guys know, if you're watching this video in a timely fashion, you know that Matt did a collaboration that's hitting stores now with Bark River called the Mac 5 or Mac V Bowie. That's a SOG pattern. But this is a Randall homage piece, so it's got a pretty deep hollow ground, pretty thin behind the edge, that beautiful swedge that terminates perfectly at the tip. Awesome. The double Randall guard, bigger at the bottom than it is at the top, which lets you utilize that grip. Super efficient. No more material anywhere on this knife than needs to be there. The stock thickness is 217 or 15/32 for all you American draftsmen. The Vehement Knives laser etch. New logo for Matt. Matt does not believe in stamping a knife blade. The stresses that it causes. And check this out. One of the few makers, guys, who doesn't just stake their guards in place. No, Matt brazes them. Look at that perfect little bead of silver solder. Look at the crown and the finger choil. And then we work our way back behind the brass guard to 3 spacers, black, red, black, and then this gorgeous sort of cognac dyed stacked leather washer handle. And black, red, black again, and an aluminum pommel. This is a rat tail tang with a threaded end. The lanyard hole coming through the handle just below the tang. And then the sort of Bark River's preferred compression nut style, flush with the pommel, and screwed on and ground flush. Absolutely beautiful. As I said, the blade's 7 inches long. The handle 5 inches long. Overall length is 12 inches. Classic fighting Bowie dimensions. And check out the point of balance on this knife. It is almost exactly where the spacers lie. Perfectly neutral balance. If you're choked up in a fighting grip, that's right where your forefinger and thumb are. The knife feels like nothing. I mean, it feels like nothing in the hand. So light and fast. All the grinds on this knife, guys, I think I need to wipe. Talk amongst yourselves, talk amongst yourselves. But all the grinds on this knife are perfectly executed and symmetrical. I would call this hollow grind a high polished satin, as well as the swedge, and then the flats, more of a near mirror polish. And guys, if you work with steel, if you grind knife blades, you know that 3V does not like to polish at all. And here's something I think is pretty cool. Matt and I talked about sharpening while we were together last month. And Matt would be the first one to tell you he's not the best sharpener in the world. Doesn't really understand why a knife would need to be sharper than it is leaving his shop. Well, this is the edge that left Matt's shop. Now, full disclosure, I did strop this on 2 micron CBN on leather and 0.5 micron diamond on leather, but did not touch the bevel on stones. And you can see it's not a mirror polished edge. The apex probably is just from stropping, but check this out, boys. That is cut in phone book paper. Pretty doggone cleanly. I know it does push cut because I did it. Let's see. There we go. That's pretty good, guys. Why would a knife need to be sharper than that? I mean, all it really has to do is go in your belly or part a couple ribs. Take the wind out of you for good. That's what this knife is made to do. You guys know I am an absolute sucker for a well-proportioned fighting Bowie. I saw a knife when I was up in Escanaba last month that Matt had made for a charity auction. Very similar in profile to this, except it had sort of a distressed black oxide coated blade and then the brass guard, and that knife had a brass pommel. Those had both been blackened by a proprietary process Matt really didn't want to divulge. It was the most stunning knife I'd ever seen. I just could not stop looking at it. And I knew that I had to own one of Matt's fighters. But boy, I'll tell you, I thought I was going to have to save up $600 or $700 or trade a gun or something to get one. And I win a raffle. Are you kidding me? This is, as of today, 24 April 2017, my favorite fixed blade that I own. Let's check out the knife in the sheath real quick as I continue to suck my own blood. So the knife fits in the sheath very securely. In fact, it won't hardly shake out. The fit is unbelievable. Unbelievable. It doesn't move. It doesn't shake. And this is the other neat thing. I love the reversible nature of the retention strap, but check this out. This flap totally protects the guard and the handle from anything the strap would do to it. No hardware is touching anything metal. The only hardware that's even maybe touching are the back of these snaps touching the leather, which really won't cause any problem. And when you pull the knife out, it comes right out. When you put the knife in, there's no way you're ever going to cut that strap. Just a brilliantly designed sheath. Bravo, Mrs. Martin. Bravo. Man, what a piece of work. What's that? Because I'm kind of about ready to end the video. I know, you guys want to see it again, don't you? I know. Okay. See if we can macro this thing. Sort of. Kind of takes your breath away, doesn't it? In the last year or two, guys, I have looked at a whole lot of custom and semi-custom fixed blade knives from several makers. And I got to tell you, I hate to do this because there's so many guys that I just dearly love who make fixed blade customs, but Matt Martin has no peer. Man. I'm going to put his contact information, Facebook page, etc., email address, phone number in the description of the video, as well as, you could pause and read the business card. But if you are a fixed blade aficionado, especially a fighting Bowie aficionado, and you've got a collection of customs going, Matt Martin and Vehement Knives with Jenna Martin designed and made sheaths might be for you. In fact, they need to be for you. That is all for this one, my friends. Grace to you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. And remember, the Word and my vehement fighter are sharp.